And we are live. Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, four nerds by nerds, hanging out with these nerds. And I got Nerdarchist Ted over here, and I got some special guests, Olivia and Matthew Mann. They were the winners of our Fan2Sea cruise cabin giveaway. They really do exist.
We're real.
So, funny story is we'd actually shot a video with Matthew and Olivia and Jordan while we were on the cruise in my cabin. But unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties that may or may not had something to do with the fact that I'd been drinking all day before we set things up. And Ted was my handler and supervisor, and he failed his check.
I failed to check. We don't have audio on it, and something tells me you guys are not going to sit and watch a video with Dave and our guests and their mouths just going up and down, and you not hear anything.
We could have totally mystery 3000 theater that shit.
Mystery Science Theater 3000. Nice.
Get some like badass lip sync readers to be able to do what they're saying.
So we got some people showing up already. I really didn't advertise too much. I just kind of like an hour and a half ago said, "Hey, we're gonna be live and doing a thing. So if people want to show up, show up." We got Death by Monkey in the house, and James N is there as well. Devo Larlo, I'm not even sure. Afternoon, I'm not sure where you're from, but it's not here. It's 9 o'clock here, so that's cool. And 8 o'clock where you guys are. So, essentially, we're having this hangout to talk about the Fan2Sea cruise and really for you guys to share your experience with it, with the fans.
It was awesome.
It really was. And Matthew's a bigger nerd than I am. I would love to get into D&D right now, but I can't at the moment because I'm in vet school, but we're trying to work a way to play shorter sessions. But even I, as the lesser nerd variety, I still had a fabulous time in every way and shape and form.
I still see Ewok ears poking out, though.
Of course. I had to bring it out for this chat. It's like my favorite shirt.
You gotta show respect to Star Wars, You
do, and that's my favorite fandom. And like they had something for everybody on that cruise. They had, y'all know, they had D&D, they had Star Wars, they had Stranger Things, they had a bunch of stuff. Like I went to a Star Wars trivia night, and I thought he knew everything. No, there are people on this earth that actually know more than him. My mind was like,
every once in a while. Okay,
the Lando Calrissian spin-off in the '80s, they actually knew what the plot was for that, and I was amazed. It's wow, y'all are into it.
In another league.
So what are some memorable moments from the cruise for you guys?
The Stranger Things panel was fantastic. The Chief Hopper was an amazing was it panelist?
Yeah, panelist. He carried it, a lot of it. He was good. Oh, yeah. And Dustin was there, like the actor who played Dustin. And Caleb McLaughlin is, oh my gosh, I'm a huge fan of Stranger Things, but the name escapes me. But he was there too. And they were great. And I got to ask them if they actually play D&D, because if you're a fan of Stranger Things, you know that they named the Demogorgon after a D&D monster, but sadly they don't. They're just really good at acting. But Chief Hopper apparently has a campaign every week, so hit him up if you want to play some D&D and you can't get in with Nerdarchy.
Yeah, the panel was great. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the panel because that was the Cosmo Mexico day, and I told my wife I would do family stuff with them that day, which happened to be the day that I wanted to do the most panels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I did catch the replay because they had a closed circuit TV of that stuff going, and I did get to hear you ask your question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, they're acknowledging me. It was great. But like to add off of what Matthew said, not to sound too sentimental, but I really love just the board game room because our Arcadia?
I think it was Arcadia, right?
Armada Games.
Armada.
Thank you. Armada Games. They had a whole game room set up, and I got to learn how to play so many new board games because we're both huge fans of board games, and we got to play with you guys, and we got to play Joking Hazard and Splendor, and I got to watch y'all play D&D, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Also,
go ahead.
I also really liked the D&D documentary about the art, the Eye of the Beholder
Yes.
documentary.
Oh my
little teaser.
gosh.
that we got to see.
That's Brian Stillman. That's something that's in the works. He's, cross your fingers, hoping to be able to have that as a release in 2018. We'll wait and see. But yeah, that was a really cool documentary.
Yeah, the art was phenomenal because like whenever he plays campaigns as a DM and I can't play because I have to study, sometimes I'll take the monster manual and just like flip through the art because I like art. I'm an artist myself and I really admire their work. Like very detailed, very creative. If it weren't for the artists, we wouldn't have what we have today with Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things that I was really looking forward to, and I was glad I was able to do that. That was a lot of fun with Brian Stillman, and then we also got to meet him and hang out with him, and did an interview with him, and play D&D with him. He's a really great guy, and it turns out he's actually kind of local to us. He's only a couple hours away.
Oh wow!
Yeah, well, he's in New York City, which isn't too far from South Jersey.
Yeah, it was actually pretty amusing because very shortly after I got home from the cruise, I'm already seeing pictures of Brian Stillman posting on Facebook with his Nerdarchy hat. So that was that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's got his Jurassic Park. He wears it all the time. Yeah, he wore it today.
I've been representing in school with the Jurassic Park hoodie.
Nice.
Woohoo!
Yep, repping. But I love meeting him, like Brian Stillman. He was super nice, and he helped explain some things to me if I was confused about something. He was just a fun person to be around.
Yeah, he did an intro into D&D. I guess you guys were there hanging out when he was doing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool to watch. There was a lot of good stuff going on. There was actually like too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
Did you guys take many pictures?
We took some. I mean, me being me, when I went on to Cozumel, I took like 50 pictures of 50 different iguanas. But I also took pictures of the ship itself. But what I wish I had more of were pictures of like cosplayers. But I didn't want to go up to every single one and be like, "Hey, can I take your picture?" I don't know. I guess I was being shy. But that was another thing I really liked about the cruise was so many people with your similar interests. Like we could have worn a really obscure shirt and somebody, like be it you or somebody else, would be like, "I love your shirt. Like, where did you get it?" I got so many compliments on my Ewok shirt, which is so nice because not everybody knows what an Ewok is, and that's a travesty.
Yeah.
Some would say the Ewoks were actually the travesty.
Well, I mean, Olivia, I completely agree with your assessment on the T-shirt thing. Being in Nerdarchy, I make no reservations about it. I'm a nerd. I wear nerdy T-shirts, and I went through my T-shirts like, all right, what am I going to wear on this cruise? And there was things being said frequently about whether my shirt or the guy next to me. And there was one day I wore a shirt, and I got at least 20 compliments on that shirt. So.
Yeah. It's just nice that people understand it because when you're just out at the grocery store, it's like, I don't even know what that shirt means, whatever. But on a nerd cruise, everyone knows you're part of the culture.
Yeah, everybody was super nice. We were asking questions about panels and just meeting people. You'd meet somebody that you went to a panel like the Monsters panel that they had about how they get ideas for what monsters they do. And then the guys were doing the new Marvel versus Monster comics, and I started talking to them about what they get their inspiration from. And I know they already had a panel about it, but they were still cool enough to talk to me personally when I saw them at the bar about it. And it was just really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like most of the presenters and the panelists were kind of like that. If like they ended when their time was over, but they would totally keep going if nothing was going on. I think it's when we went for the Art of D&D panel or showing, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't really a showing, it's not done yet. But me and Ted had gotten there earlier, and there was a guy going on about comic book art. and you know, I feel like after that panel ended, like it just kind of moved out of the way.
It didn't really end. It just changed places.
Yeah, it's really nice that they were all very, like, more than willing to talk to just us plebeians. I ran into one of the producers of Stranger Things, like with a production design, in the hallway, and I recognized him, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I really loved your I wouldn't call it a panel, it was just more of an exhibition of production design, because as y'all know, it was set in 1983, and a lot of the things they had to just make, because they don't make that really ugly kitchen tile anymore, so they had to make their own. And I just caught him in the hallway, and I was just like, sir, you did a fantastic job. I did not live through the 80s, but my father did, and he says that it's a spot-on impression. Sorry you're old, but this is really great. And he was really appreciative. I didn't mean you. I was talking about the producer. Obviously.
Well, I was born in '75, so I pretty much came up in the '80s.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous of that, because you had all the hair metal and the crazy colors and the fun music, the good rock, man.
I consider the late '80s and early '90s the pinnacle of human civilization. From here, it's just all downhill.
Oh my gosh. I would disagree in some aspects, but in others, I would agree.
Yeah. Like how many panels did you guys end up catching? So there's 3 you guys have just kind of rambled off.
Shoot.
We did was it the Art of Monsters, or?
No, I already said that one.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, the Monster panel, the Stranger Things panel, the Art of Dungeons and Dragons. Those stuck in my head as the most memorable ones. I might have attended more, but my memory is really awful.
Well, honestly, like, I really didn't do much. I didn't actually do much of the events. I really just spent a lot of time hanging out and making new friends, and I feel like, I feel like that cruise needed to be longer. Like,
yeah,
I needed another 3 days or so.
Oh,
yeah. Well, it was just awesome. I was actually going to comment on that, is that you didn't feel pressured, like you had to go to this panel, or you'd just be sitting in your room, or, you know, sitting in the pool doing nothing. Like, if we just ended up not doing anything, we'd just go hang out in the board game room, go meet some new people. Hey, let's play some board games. Let's play D&D.
Which is exactly what we did. Like, yeah. I played board games with people I had never met before, and I was happy as a clam, and we had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
I found myself, like, more or less like ducking in and out of things and kind of like checking it out and be like, this is cool. And then, you know, going back to hang out at the game room or find the rest of the Nerdarchy crew. So one of the things, though, is for next year, we want to be there in a more, we're trying to be there in a more official capacity, where maybe we're actually running games officially and doing a panel. So I'm kind of like hounding the guy to put the thing together. Matter of fact, whatever pictures you do have, if you guys could send them to me, he's looking for more pictures from the cruise.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I'm sure I took some video as well. I'll try to upload that at some point. But yeah, we'd be
even your animals and iguanas.
The iguanas were awesome. The beach was beautiful. The cruise was wonderful. Everything about it was good. And apparently it's a really good value, because several like actual old people were on the cruise. And they're like, oh, I don't have anything to do with comics. This was just a really good deal.
Yeah,
it's
we went on the inside of the ship tour, which was awesome.
Yeah,
and a bunch of old people were doing the tour with us, and so, you know, the people are like, well, are you guys interested in comics? You know, and all
me and Matthew were like, yeah.
And then all the old people were like, nah, it's a good deal. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of had.
Next year's cruise, you should go, because it's a better deal than all the other ones, and the ship was really nice. Like, you get what you pay for.
Well, there was that day where it was the chop was huge, and it didn't even make me seasick. The ship was so stable. It was.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very similar experience. You know, meeting people that, you know, some were definitely there as part of the actual oh, I'm here for the nerd stuff. Other people were there, and it's like, well, you know what? I just wanted to be on a cruise, and I found this one.
Yeah.
So it's totally worthwhile. I don't know exactly what what they've got planned for next year as far as prices go, but if it's anywhere in the same ballpark, I would jump on as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our first dinner there, Mike had come around, and I guess he's the one that actually owns the event. He also owns his company, also owns the Atlantic City Boardwalk Comic Con as well. And like the first thing he asked, he's like, "Hey, are you guys here for the fantasy for the Comic Con, or are you one of the other people?" Because he was definitely disappointed that they were selling it to other people too, because he was really trying to keep it for the fans and stuff like that. Also, like I think they didn't book the ship full like intentionally so that people would get more access to the panels and the events and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think for them, like, they should all give themselves props because it was their first year doing this, if I'm correct. For the first year for the fantasy cruise, so we were all the guinea pigs, and we all loved it. So it can only go up from here.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would say is, like you were saying, Dave, is that they kind of planned all the panels and stuff when everybody was out and about doing shore excursions and stuff.
Yeah, the one day when we were completely at sea, like that was the best day. To do stuff, and I'm sure everything was like packed that day.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Dave, touching on the numbers, from what research I had done, the cruise ship's supposed to hold like 5,000 people, but they were only selling like 2,200 to 2,400 tickets. And when I spoke to one of the Fan2Sea guys, he had on the official name tag and whatnot, they had said that they sold around 90% of what their target number was. So, I mean, that would put that at probably a little over 2,000, right around 2,000.
Yeah, I believe that was Mike.
Yeah, and that was good because me personally, I'm not a claustrophobic person, but Matthew sometimes, and I never felt claustrophobic. I mean, yes, you're on a ship all day with people, but there's always a place where you can just be alone if you want to, or if you want to play board games. There's plenty of tables to go around.
Yeah, mini golf in the windstorm. That was fun.
Yeah, late Saturday night. The winds are kicking up fierce, and we decided, you know what, we're just gonna go wander around and see what's going on. And it's a huge group of us, and we decided. Inspiration took us to play mini golf. I think it was suggested as a joke. Like the hilarity that ensued just can't be replicated.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that either never ends well or always ends well when it starts out as a joke and you're like,
yeah.
oh no, we're actually doing it. Yeah.
So how did you actually make out with getting your schoolwork done?
Y'all, I made like 2 A's and 2 B's, and I was like, praise Jesus, and it made me wish that the cruise was 5 days longer because I would have loved to have played more games with you guys.
Well, you're definitely a trooper, on the laptop working the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm a trooper getting blessed with this free cruise. It was awesome. I wasn't gonna miss it for the world.
Yeah, it was interesting right at the beginning too. Emailing y'all, this is great, but how do I know it's not a phishing scam? Nigerian princes.
That was totally my email. I'm just like, hey, you're the winner, and this is all the information that I need from you. And like you reply back like, yeah, how do I know this isn't a scam? And I'm like, oh no.
And, that was partly my doing because I was doing the dishes in the kitchen and Matthew goes, holy crap, I want a cruise. And I was like, no, you didn't. Like somebody died, someone has cancer, like your car broke down, what is it? And he's like, no, I'm actually serious. And I'm like, bull crap, it's a phishing scam. That was me.
So Nerdarchy Ryan, he actually chimed in, grabbed the video, watched for the actual marker time of when we announced your
Yeah.
names. Like, here's the video, here's the countdown of when it actually happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, props to Ryan. I was glad to have met him too. All of y'all.
All y'all
actually.
are awesome.
Yeah, Nate too.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, it was really weird the way they did it because so there's like several different companies that are kind of involved. There's Mike and his company, and they kind of like own the event, set it up. And it was the first Comic-Con at sea to take place on a cruise. They had actually been talking about doing it, and some other people beat them to the punch and tried to do it and weren't able to pull it off. And so they never actually launched. So this was the first one. But then he had two other companies. There was Flying Dutchman Travel, and they were the travel agent, and they booked, or they chartered the boat. And then there was, what was it? Rethink was like the promotional company, I believe, and they actually like ran the events on the ship. So if you think it was confusing for you, I had like at least a half a dozen different emails to people, and the lady's like, no, we don't need any information and we don't need to contact them. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't need to contact them? Because I'm thinking, well, what would my wife be saying if I told her we're going on a cruise and they just need all of our information and we just need to show up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it makes you go,
So it was a little bit crazy, but with a couple emails back and forth and some phone calls to Flying Dutchman, and actually props to Flying Dutchman because it was actually those guys who I was able to get on the phone with somebody and get more information, and I think it took a couple calls because the way they put the information in, like it didn't even go in for a while. So
Yeah.
like they're like, we have no, oh, you know what, you called them.
Yeah.
And they're like, we can't tell you anything because there's no information in here yet.
Yeah, there was one point where Matthew was like, so we might not be able to go on the cruise. And I was like, well, I mean, if it happens, it happens. I mean, it was great while it lasted.
Yeah.
But when it worked out, I was like, yes.
And now you guys drove, right? You guys drove down to Florida.
Mhm.
Yep, because we live in Mississippi. So it wasn't too bad of a drive. I say that because I slept the whole time. It was,
Fine for you then.
Oh
oh
yeah.
yeah, it was great. And I'm only 5 feet tall, so I just got in the back of the Honda and was like, I just slept for like 8 hours or something like that. I felt good on the trip.
Is that how long the drive was? 8 hours?
I think it ended up being about 11 and a half.
Yeah,
It was supposed to only be like 9.5 or 10, but we hit that huge, heavy patch of fog coming into Florida, and it was.
I remember that fog.
Oh my goodness, it looked like pea soup. Actually, driving through pea soup. It was really weird, but the drive was. Other than that, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, my drive was pretty easy too. So.
You didn't drive.
Oh, right.
Yeah, lucky you just had to fly.
Yeah,
That's the easy part.
You didn't take the Nerdarchy road trip.
I did not. But we got down there and left around the same time, so. Go
Well,
figure.
You got down there early to run a game for some fans down in Florida.
Yeah, that was really cool too. I wish we would have took pictures. We forgot to take pictures.
Oh
That's
yeah, I remember y'all invited us, but we weren't going to be able to make it since we were still driving. But it was like, if we had just gone a little earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if you guys were going to go like the day before and stay over to make it easier, or if you're going to go right to the ship or not. So I just figured we'd just throw it out there.
Yeah.
We're hoping to be able to do more of this kind of stuff too, more road trips. I mean, it'd be great to give away more cruises, but I don't know how easy they're going to be to acquire. I feel like in some ways we like shot ourselves in the foot because it's like, where do we go from here?
reach the top.
Yeah.
But Matt, so you actually did get to be in a different Nerdarchy game, though.
Yes. Yeah, that was that was awesome. I have never played. I took my inspiration from the Dragonlance Minotaurs, and I had never played a Tempest cleric, and then a sailor. And it turns out, of course, we were on. You were obviously thinking the same lines I was. We're on a cruise ship, so gonna make a sailor, and man, that was That was really fun. Took over a pirate ship and started privateering the sea.
It was a good game. I enjoy running that.
Yeah, that was really awesome because I've had a couple of one shots where some of the people you're with, you're just like, ooh.
I wasn't in the table, but I watched, and that was a good table. That was a solid table.
Yeah. Everybody was working together. You know, nobody tried to steal the spotlight or acted all weird and stuff.
And Ted's outfit made it.
Yes, the pirate outfit.
Pirate outfit was on point. 10 out of 10.
Well, thank you. I was lacking the hat, which was pointed out by many people, but I decided that I was not going to pack any kind of large hats for fear of them being blown overboard.
Yeah,
that would have been asking for it.
Yeah.
You guys gave it away. You should have told everybody that Ted was wearing a Jack Sparrow bikini. Because the game has not gone up
I'm not
yet.
sure the world is ready for that.
Well, the pirate coat that I was wearing was actually made by my wife many years ago.
Aw,
She's a fantastic seamstress then.
Well, thank you.
dude, I could never sew that.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no sewing over here either.
Yeah.
I mean, I can suture, but that's a little different than actual sewing.
That's close enough.
Yeah, just apply what's on the animal's organs to clothes. Like Matthew would wear it.
So, I'm a little curious, Olivia. You seem to have a fixation on bats. Is that specifically vampire bats?
No, they're so overrated. Don't even get me started. I actually posted before I talked to y'all that, okay, so how about there's 1,240 different species of bats. There are only 3 vampire bat species. 3!
I know, I saw your post. Was that a picture? But was the picture of a vampire bat or a different kind of bat?
Yeah,
it was a hairy-legged vampire bat. Didn't you read it?
Ted's on it. Ted is on it. You need to pick up the slack, Dave.
I was actually going to comment that you called it a hairy-legged bat without showing a picture of the hairy legs.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I blame the photographers. I couldn't find the actual hair. Like, I wish I could have found one where they're like,
stretching out the leg, doing the sexy streetwalker pose.
Yeah, but all the bats of North America eat bugs. So build a bat house. They will eat your mosquitoes. Well, do you even have mosquitoes in New Jersey?
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we do.
They're a plague. They're a menace.
They really are.
Mosquitoes are everywhere.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
So how do you build a bat house?
You go to Amazon and then you click buy. I mean, no. In all seriousness, there are instructions for buying a bat house, but I don't have time for that. So I just went to Amazon and bought one.
I thought you needed a mansion with a cave underneath it and a fancy car and maybe a jet.
A butler.
Yeah.
Well, that would be for the cave dwelling bats, of which Bruce Wayne is a specimen. But here in Mississippi, we mostly have tree dwelling bats, and those are migratory, so they should be coming back kind of soon because it gets hot here pretty quickly.
I know we have bats. I guess they migrate. I don't know what they do.
You might have some cave dwelling bats, but I don't know much about Northeast. I'd love to visit sometime. I just haven't been since I was like 8 years old.
Well, maybe. Well, we want to do the Nerdarchy. We keep threatening to do it, but it hasn't happened yet. So in the summertime, we want to do a nerdy barbecue all day event thing. We're just waiting to gather enough fans that are local enough or willing to travel a little bit.
That's an invite. Hello.
You got 2.
So,
all right.
yeah.
So best thing about the cruise.
Well, like I said the first time, with lip syncers will know that what I originally said was that I really loved meeting you guys because Matthew's a big fan, and he knew y'all for not new, but he knew y'all for a while, and I was relatively ignorant, and it was just really good actually being able to meet you guys and playing board games with you guys because I like D&D. I just can't play it very much, but I played board games with you guys and Ryan and Nate and Matt. But it was a lot of fun. I just loved being able to put the faces to Nerdarchy. And now I know you personally, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that was the highlight of the cruise, is meeting all y'all guys. And then I think we kind of creeped you out a little bit, Dave, because we kind of met each other awkwardly when we were getting chow.
I was like, hey, it's the guy in the hat. No, don't creep on him. And Matthew's like, no, I'll look like a stalker. And I was like, no, it's fine. You've got your wife with you. It's fine.
So wait a minute. So that's the disqualifier for being a stalker if you have a wife with you?
Yeah, I guess so.
What if you're a stalker couple?
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that was even worse.
Does this look like the face of a stalker?
Natural Born Killers. Did you see the movie Natural Born Killers?
Oh no, but I want to now.
That's a long time ago, but that'll just totally destroy your theory of the non-stalker couple.
There you go.
All
We
right.
have to work on a different theory then.
I'm not sure when that movie came out. It was probably like 90s.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. But I also just really liked. I also really liked the panels too. Like I said, the Stranger Things panel was. Well, I can't say it was my favorite because I really love the Art of Dungeons and Dragons one too, and I liked how they were kind of intimate, like y'all were saying, and you could talk to the presenter afterwards instead of just being like, "Okay, bye, get away." You know, it was you could actually talk to them and be like, "I really loved your presentation. You did a great job."
Well, that's the thing. Like with an event like this, like at a regular Comic-Con, I don't know if they ever stop selling the tickets, or not. But at this, like, the ship holds X amount of people. They were only booking to I think 40-50%. So, you just got that much more access to the people. And, as to, the art of D&D, Brian Stillman is just an awesome guy to hang out with and talk to, and he's just funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
he could be a comedian if he
Yeah.
wanted to make extra money.
He's a fellow nerd, and he gets it. And it's not like he put on a show or some kind of fake appearance to get up there on stage, if you will, and present it. Not only did I see his Art of D&D, I kind of leered around the intro to D&D. I played in an Adventure League D&D game with him, and then he was in the D&D game that I ran that, Matt, you were in as well. So you got to see that. And then in addition to all the other conversations that happened, he was playing board games with us as well.
Yeah, and it was nice. It was cool because when Matthew went to go get a drink or something, I stole his seat, and I was like, "So what's this? What's this on the character sheet?" And he would just explain it to me, really patient. I mean, and not in a condescending way, just like, "Oh yeah, this is this, and here's how you play it." And he was really nice.
Making it seem like I haven't already explained D&D to you. Look
I'm
at you.
Gosh.
You fat Matt. You fail, Matt. You fail.
Yeah.
It's your fault, not mine. Never mind.
Yeah, there you go. I also did a Google Hangout with Brian a couple. Was it last week or the week before that? I don't know. It's all blending together now. Yeah, it was just last week with him and Travis. Oh crap, I forgot his last name already. But he does Life of the Party. It's a web comic. Actually, check it out, Matt.
Yes, I actually saw it post on I think the Facebook page, y'all's, and the D&D 5th edition group posted it too, and I was able to follow it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think his last name is Hansen, but really super cool guy. And while we were on the ship, Brian had mentioned him, and I'd already been talking to him. And his Kickstarter just finished up. It was super successful. I think they were going for $7,000 and got $70,000 or something like that. And the Travis was only going to be able to be on the Hangout during the day, and I know Ted had a lot going on. And ideally, I would have wanted to get Ryan on because he's the artist of us, but he was going to be doing his day job. So I knew Brian was a huge fan of Travis's as well as just art in general. And he had a bunch of cool stories about how Travis would do these pieces, and then he would be like, "All right, it's up for sale. Whoever wants, first come, first serve." And he'd be like, "Damn, I just missed it." He kept just missing it, and that's the thing. I don't know how much you guys interacted with Brian and talked to him, But like when you talk, like he's clearly like he collects all that kind of memorabilia and art and stuff like that. Even when in one of our videos, there's like a funny story where he talks about, he started selling off some of his stuff to fund his projects, and like he would pick and choose people that were close to him. So he's like, well, it's just the further easternmost wing of the Brian Stillman collection.
Yeah.
You have to just get on a subway to get to it. So
yeah, I thought you were gonna say that he would geek out when he was looking at some of the Star Wars stuff and was like, "Oh my God, that's the Death Star!" When they do the actual close up of the Death Star.
well, yeah, there was that too, but I still have to watch that. The
Plastic
documentary.
Galaxy.
Yes,
Plastic, yeah.
I know Ryan has already watched it. It's in a bunch of places for you guys watching too, like Plastic Galaxy. You can check it out on, I think, Hulu and Amazon Prime. You can pick it up from Amazon. I think they have like a special edition cut or whatever as well. I'm also I started talking to Brian about it, and we're a ways off, but I would love to do a Nerdarchy screening of the art of D&D. That would be really freaking cool.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
So I guess we won't keep you guys any longer.
You're fine.
Okay.
Please help me procrastinate from studying, please. I really don't want to study right now.
Yeah. So someone did someone mentioned in the comments about getting the information about you came for D&D and got bat science instead.
Yes. I salute you, and if you need any information, hit me up.
Actual bat box instructions: wood box with mesh plates, an inch apart, filling the box, hanging about 30 feet up, and that was factoid. Also, Fraser McDonald. I wish I had known about the Fan2Sea. Anyone know if there are plans for another sailing next year? They are working on it. They haven't announced the date yet. There is a Fan2Sea cruise on Twitter as well as on Facebook, and there's a website. And hey, if you would like to go and seeing Nerdarchy there, if that would be an extra incentive for you, please reach out to them and let them know you'd like to see Nerdarchy running games and possibly facilitating a panel or two as well, because that would be really cool. Now I don't actually want you guys to bother them if you don't actually care one way or the other. But if it would be an incentive for you guys, that'd be really cool. If you email them, tweet at them, message them on Facebook, something along those lines. That'd be awesome. Because, like I said, we're already working on trying to do it again next year because it was so much fun this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a blast. I didn't want it to end.
Yeah, it's funny too. Just before we did not too long before we actually did the cruise and had gotten the cabin to give away, we did an interview with Monty Cook for Invisible Sun just before that Kickstarter wrapped up, and we had backed it at the retail level so that we could have a couple of those to give away to our fans. And we're like, wow, this is going to be the biggest giveaway that we've had so far, because it's like a $200 RPG.
Yeah.
And then the
following month,
fan
is like, oh, we got a cruise here. Look at that.
Yeah.
It was really weird too how it came about, because I saw it and I was like, wow, this would be really cool and fun. So I reached out to Flying Dutchman, the travel company, and like we had worked out some deal with them, and it wasn't as good as it could be or ended up being. But we're like, well, something's better than nothing. It's still kind of cool to check out. Well, then the people from Rethink reached out to us, and I was really confused because they messaged us on Facebook. They had seen some of the videos we did, and it was really weird because I was already talking to people from Fan2Sea, but the way they were coming at me on Facebook didn't seem like they knew that. Yeah. And then they set up this meeting. Then we find out then I find out there's all these different hands in the pot, and even going through the whole process when we're discussing things with them, the number of people we just had to deal with. So one of the things that Mike had said to me was that on the next one he's going to be a little more hands-on with the promoting and stuff. So hopefully that streamlines it. I think they all did a really good job, and it's not to bash anybody or badmouth them. It's just that a lot of people were working on it, but it didn't feel like they were really working together per se.
They weren't being cohesive.
Yes.
Yeah, too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
That could have been it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, good on everybody, and I hope that it wasn't too big of an inconvenience for y'all, because when we got there, like, I was blown away. Like, everything was so nice, and I felt lucky enough to be able to go on the cruise in the first place, so I didn't care where we went, but I had been on a cruise before, and we had an interior cabin, and that's what I was expecting, because, you know, I mean, it's free, so I didn't want to expect much, but we got, like, a balcony view, and oh man, it was beautiful. Like, we could go outside and chill out by the balcony. Oh, it was wonderful.
Oh, you guys did end up with a balcony?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did. It was a really nice surprise, because when I got there, I love seeing just how blue the water is. Like, it's hard to describe just how blue it is until you view it with your own eyes.
Because I thought you guys were getting an interior. Good, awesome. That's awesome. I don't remember, Ted. Did you guys have it? Do you guys have a balcony or just?
Yeah, we had a balcony.
Nice.
Yeah, it was, the four of us, you know, squished into the room was a bit tight.
Yeah, how did you guys fit? Because I know that there was like a bunk bed, not necessarily a bunk, but a trundle that came down.
Yeah, there was two beds here, which was which was myself and then our friend Matt. Nerdarchy Ryan was in the trundle bed over top of us, and then Nate took like the couch bed,
fold out couch.
Yeah, the couch thing. How did y'all move around? It's like walking on
when it was decreed bedtime, we just all went to our beds and stayed there.
Nobody moved.
I was more the early bird or early morning riser, so for me it was kind of like, all right, when I woke up and it was like, all right, they're still asleep, I just tried to creep around and, you know, either get to the shower or just get out and I'll deal with other stuff later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the one morning I did that, you know, I put on a bathing suit and said, I'm just gonna go swimming. You guys keep sleeping.
Like, bye.
No.
Yeah, Jordan would do that too. He had the his brother, my brother-in-law, he had the trundle at the top, but he had a grand old time. He just went out and hung out at the pool and stuff like that, and he had a great time too, for the record.
So
our room had a sofa bed, so we would leave in the morning, and the housekeepers would come in and fold it up and turn it into a couch, and you know, usually at night we would come back, it would be all unfolded, so it was a good deal.
Yeah, it was really nice. Like, we didn't have to do diddly-doo-dah. Mm-hmm. We had everything cleaned up for us, and we got little swans, and we got a rabbit, and we got another creature that I couldn't determine, and y'all got
monkey.
like a monkey. Yeah,
we had
y'all
a monkey.
A three-toed sloth.
So let me ask you this question. Coming back from the cruise, did you miss just there constantly being food ready and available for you?
Oh, of course.
Oh Lord, yes.
Yeah. Oh man, you sit there on the cruise and you're like, man, sure am pretty hungry right now. Let's go to the buffet. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Load up the plate.
We definitely took advantage of that several times, and I drank coffee all the time, and they had coffee all the time, and it was great.
Oh, so that's why you didn't need the bed, because you were on coffee the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't sleep one bit during the whole cruise.
That helped your productivity in school too. That's what got her through.
Don't do drugs, kids, but coffee works fine.
Did you guys go to the restaurant at all?
Which one? Because I know there were several.
Well, okay, so there was the main dining room. That one was actually included, and
Yes.
no upcharges. And we went there for lunch the one day, and it was so good.
Yes.
Yeah, we went for dinner. Like, I wanted to. Okay, my one little rant. I wanted to go every night, and there were so many people there that Matthew was just. This was his face. And I was just like, do you want to leave? And he's like, yeah, I really want to leave. And I was like, but we haven't had dessert yet.
All right,
but
in my defense, I had creepers sitting there getting in my space bubble and asking me all these questions. And it's like, oh, okay, yes, I'll talk to you. Go.
Well,
okay.
Oddly enough, the day we did the lunch in the main dining room, we actually ended up sitting with so the funny story, like, I don't know if we had told you the story when we ran into people that we thought were fans, but they weren't really.
Yeah.
So we were all sitting there. I think we were playing Munchkin.
That happen?
We were playing Munchkin, and these three women walked by, and say hi. Oh, that's Nerdarchy, and then they keep going, and they come back and like, we got to get a picture. I'm like, okay, so they take a picture, and we talk to them for a couple minutes, and then they walk away, and as we'd been discussing the game that Ted was going to run the next day. I'm like, well, we should invite them to the game. So I go over to them, and they're like, oh, well, we don't actually game. We're not gamers. And so, after like we had ran into a couple times, and after a couple conversations, we realized that they had just found our video about the fantasy cruise online, and that's how they knew us, and they just watched those videos.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's kind of cool, though.
Like, oh yeah, absolutely.
Collateral fans.
Collateral fans.
So it was really amusing because they totally fangirled us without really being fans. It's like, all right,
we've seen these ugly faces on screens before. That's crazy. I just want to thank. How would you pronounce this? Davoerlo. Daverlo?
Probably.
Yeah, he just signed up for Patreon. I want to thank you so much. Appreciate it. And he also made a comment about Ted walking through the rooms like Indiana Jones, not trying to step on a trap. You should have totally stepped on those traps, though.
The floor is lava. The floor is lava.
Yeah. Well,
no, the beds are lava. The sleeping
that was
lava.
No, you want to stay on the floor. Stepping on the beds is
I got a room with these guys for multiple nights. There's no way I want to wake them up and
exactly.
we're trapped on the ship. What do we do?
He also mentioned being on the other side of the world. Speaking of which, we actually did have a fan from Australia, Alex, 20-year-old guy, that his parents had sent him on the fantasy. So that was really cool. We got to hang out with him as well. He was also in Ted's game. Got some pictures with him. And my daughter was totally had a crush on him. So I had him mess with her and take a picture with her.
Yeah, and your wife Stephanie was like, "Stop it! Don't encourage her." And I was like, "He's cute. You can wait a few more years and that's legal." And she's like, "No, stop."
It was actually really funny. This weekend we were having the birthday party for my daughter. She just turned 5, and because some of the family hadn't really been together since we had gotten back from the cruise, of course, came up and we were having a conversation, and Alex got talked about, and the pictures came out, and the same difference between Alex and Dave's daughter is about the same difference between Dave's daughter and my daughter. And when we pointed that out, she kind of looks at everybody's like, is that what he sees? and the adults kind of like have to assuage this.
Oh, bless. Bless their heart.
Yes, a toddler. That's what he sees. So there was a lot of good times had. Yeah, they had a special before the cruise that if you bought one of the upcharges to one of the fancier restaurants, you could get basically 2 of them. So that's what we ended up doing, and so they had like an upscale Italian restaurant and steakhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, I ate so good while I was on the cruise. And even the dining room, like when we went for dinner, I guess it was that Sunday. Was that the day we were on the ship all day?
Yeah, that was the last day. Yeah,
so we actually got a table where we got a small table where it's just the 4 of us, so it wasn't bad at all. But even, I guess, even when we got stuck with other people, it was still kind of cool to talk to people. And here's the thing, like, unless you got stuck with like the people that just went on the cruise because it was a good deal, then more than likely you're sitting with people that were interested in the stuff that you're interested. So that part was also kind of cool too.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ted? You got any favorite moments? Since you asked.
Well, for me, I enjoyed the break from my normal life. And I did Nerdarchy stuff, like hanging out with fans and playing D&D. But honestly, that's the stuff I do for fun anyway. So even the work part of Nerdarchy that I did was still that much more fun. So it was a whole lot of new experiences. You had brought up, Matt, that the boat had had some serious swells Saturday and Sunday, and I myself, I came extra prepared with Dramamine because when I go out on small ships, I have to take Dramamine, otherwise I'm getting sick. And for me, I guess like I'm used to like the up and down is what bothers me, but because the boat is so big, it doesn't do that. It just does the more side to side, and that didn't affect me at all. You know, the worst I was affected was actually trying to get my land legs back.
Yes.
Oh man, that was so bad. We were just sitting here when we got home, and we're like, I'm so dizzy. But do I take a Dramamine because I'm on dry land?
Monday night, I'm lying on my friend Matt's couch, and I swear the couch is just kind of rocking back and forth, and I'm like, oh God, make it stop. And like nothing I could do. The brain is just moving in my skull is what it felt like.
Yeah.
I know. And I was in class and I was looking at my laptop, and the laptop was just like
Yeah, it lasted a couple of days too. I was surprised. I was in Tampa still after the cruise, and we were at the hotel room, and I was on the can, and I'm like, did the whole room just tilt? Because it was like a delay. I guess it was like a delayed reaction or whatever. It didn't kick in right away. And then like later that day, we went to the mall, and you know how malls are kind of set up like big circles pretty much, and every time we'd like go to turn, it'd be like, whoa, everything felt like it was sideways.
yeah.
I felt more movement when I got off the boat than I did when I was on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah.
But then, like actually just hanging out and chatting with people, I met some, just random people that were really cool and fun to have interesting conversations with. I actually think, was it Friday or Saturday? I spent and had like a 2-hour conversation with Matt and his brother. Just sit there. We weren't playing games, but we were in the Armada game room, and we're just kind of chilling, and it was a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say for me, like the best part of this kind of stuff. So, what did I do when I was on this ship? Mainly hang out the room, did Nerdarchy stuff, checked out like the different cosplay parties they had going on. Of course, we mentioned the Art of D&D. Check that out. Checked out one of the Nerdless shows with the wife after sending the kids back to the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then the main thing with like this stuff is always like the people. That's always what I enjoy the most, is like meeting people, making friends, and building those relationships that are gonna last like forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd already mentioned, like I'd already did a thing with Brian Stillman. We'll probably do other stuff in the future. We're talking about, me and Ted have a podcast that we're going to be appearing on in the near future with Tim, which was a friend of Brian's that we met. So
Tim was in the game with Matt as well.
Yeah, he was was it the Lizard Folk? The
Lizard Folk Ranger.
Yeah.
So what podcast is it?
Off the top of my head, something 80s. I know we're supposed to be talking about 80s movies.
Yeah, I've got my list here of the different things that I picked. Unfortunately, he had a death in the family that he had to cancel our interview last week.
Oh man,
That stinks.
Yeah, I know 80s retro and movie are in the name of the podcast, but not necessarily in that order.
So you're going to be interviewed on what was the pinnacle of human existence.
Yes. Pretty much.
I'm an avid podcast listener, so I'll have to hit that up.
We'll just stay attention to the Nerdarchy Facebook page. I'm certain we'll pimp it out.
Yeah, we absolutely will. In our weekly wrap too, we'll mention, once it happens, we'll mention that for people to take a look at it, and when they figure out when it's going to go up, we'll let people know as well.
Good deal.
So yeah, it's like I said, it's always the relationships that you build, the people you meet. That's the best part of doing these kinds of things. Even and meeting the people down in Tampa, that was so much fun. And I just can't believe, like, we ran 2 one-shot games between me and Ted, and we just got like tables full of awesome players.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, I hate to say it, but we run fan games every month, and we've been really fortunate. We've gotten a lot of decent players, but they're like, what happens when that one time when you get a table full of players that aren't so good? You know, what's that going to be like? And we just haven't had it happen yet. And we know they're out there because we hit them. It seems like we've hit them in real life enough times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm really glad that y'all have a really good fan base. You guys just have really just good people from what I've observed, which is admittedly not as much as I like to, but just everybody's really nice. And, you know,
I mean, just based off of the conversations we were having on the Facebook chat, you know, you had talked about, you know, the YouTube comments. And if you actually look at the majority of our videos, like, you know, the only kind of comments we get are, you know, positive or constructive criticism or you know, good arguments, as opposed to the junk that some YouTube channels have where people are just spamming with utter crap.
Yeah, like there's no trolls, which is really good.
We get a D-bag comment like once every like 500 comments or so.
Well, see,
it's really good.
We're a bunch of D&D nerds. We know how to handle trolls, fire and acid.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Yeah.
Although,
there was that one time we did a video about diversity in gaming, and that did, and the Nazis showed up.
Time to go get my Nazi punching shirt.
well, literally, a popular channel with someone who kind of has those views, or he claims he doesn't, but all of his fans do. Yeah, you know, kind of did a video response to the video we did, and oh my god, the sheer number of dislikes and the visceral hate that was of comments that was posted. Eventually, I took it down after leaving it up for like 4 months, but it was our most disliked and commented video, I think, to date, and they would just come to hate, and it was
like
pretty nasty.
The minions for the bad guy.
The student.
Yes, yeah, all of his fans.
Okay.
So, yeah, what are you gonna do?
But no room for that.
But for the most part, like, you know, we are so lucky when it comes to the fans and the people that come and comment and build the community. Like, Nerdarchy wouldn't be what it is without all you guys out there. You guys make it awesome.
Because I mean, you know, it's clear if you've either met with us in person or, you know, you watch the videos. We can just talk and talk and talk. But if nobody actually wants to listen to us, it doesn't matter what we're saying or what we want to say. So we need the fans that actually want to hear what we have to say.
Ted, it's funny memories, man. William Axford. I'm watching older live play videos today. I saw a dwarf get cleared for brutally murdering a cultist.
Oh man, that's an old one.
Yeah, that's going way back. I can't believe it. Like, those games now, we're at like 24 to 26 sessions or so.
Yeah,
so that's 2 years.
I can't keep track.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I was looking at y'all's video library, like, in my head, like, man, where do I start? And so I start watching a new one. It had been just uploaded that day, and I'm in the living room, and then I hear from the bedroom, are you watching a Nerdarchy video without me? And I was like, well, you won't watch them with me sometimes, so I gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, wait till you get to our older videos, and you know, right? We've grown a lot since those, where in some of them it's just one of us talking, and the production is so bad. Our early videos are all shot, and so you guys at home know too. Our early videos are all shot on an iPhone with an iRig mic as an external mic, and we've grown so much since then.
Yeah, now you'll have like a cable that you couldn't step on and mess up.
Oh, and then, you know, we had just before the cruise, we just upgraded all of our equipment again, and now it's like learning how to use it. I think we might actually have it figured out. The Sorcerer video we put up today actually looked and sounded pretty good. So, you know, we're constantly trying to improve, but like the hardest thing is like we're literally like laying the tracks on the railroad as we ride the train. So it's like we don't have a lot of downtime to figure things out, so we have to do it as we go, which means if we have a bad week with tech or something, well, that batch of videos isn't going to be so great. We had a time when we actually had to upgrade the laptop we were recording on because it just couldn't handle the videos anymore, and all of our videos were out of sync. So it looked like a bad kung fu movie with bad dubbing. I'm sure you'll see that. You'll get to, if you watch the videos for a while, you'll get to those eventually as well.
We've actually talked to some fans who have said, you know what, I either have or I'm going to watch everything that you've done, and that catalog is huge. Take your time; it will take some time.
Yeah.
But if you go back and you actually look at those ones that he's talking about, where there's just the one of us. I haven't looked at them in a while, but the last time I looked, one of the videos that I did, which I recorded it as one thing, and we broke it up into 3 videos, and like the third part has less views on it after being up for more than 3 years than any of the videos that we launched this week. So like I just look at that as hysterical, that it's like, all right, that one's been there for 3 years and nobody's taking a look at it, and these ones, they've been up for hours and we already have more watches.
Well,
But
it's
that's
also
a pretty good problem to have.
Well,
it's the way where YouTube works and what they serve up as well.
Yeah, true. Well, sometimes it's really hard to find the videos you want to. Just, I don't know, maybe I'm just not good technologically, but sometimes I'm like pouring through and it's hard to find the videos that I want.
For all YouTube channels, if you go to their homepage, they have a search feature, and you can search just the channel if you're looking for something specific. Yeah, which especially like with a channel like ours where we have a really large catalog. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. We have 1,534 videos so far. So yeah, it's quite a bit to sift through. We try and put them in playlists to make it easier, but even still, you get to a certain point, and we have playlists. It's like, a playlist has a couple hundred videos in it.
Yeah, but that's parsing it down a good deal. That's better than 1,500.
Yeah.
So soon, before you know, it'll be 3,000 videos and 10,000 videos.
Yeah.
well, we're gonna have to do a joke about the over 9,000 though.
Yes.
Yeah. When we get there.
Yeah, well, we got a while.
So let's see. I'm gonna dive back into the chat real quick. So the chat's a little bit quiet. We've had throughout the chat we've had about a couple dozen people on watching, which is not bad, especially considering we're not really talking about D&D stuff. So that time, that our numbers are always lower. Hey, you guys that are in the chat, what do you think about when we actually do reviews?
Oh.
No, when we do reviews, like we did, we like tapping into the Netflix stuff because we enjoy all that stuff, the Voltrons and the Marvel stuff, and we have Troll Hunters coming up. But that stuff, it's funny. We put up a video, I guess, was it last Friday? We did our Voltron review for season 2, and it's like probably has like 500 views on it. Now usually we do like, I don't know, 3,000, 5,000 for like an average video a week.
Am I making your legs sore?
Yes.
You need to get up for a minute?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
How could she weighs like 60 pounds. So
100 pounds soaking wet.
It gets lower every single time. I weigh 103 pounds. Just so everyone knows. Grand champion over here, weightlifter.
That's
like 20 pounds at once.
That's because you've got shoes that weigh 15 pounds.
It's true. The fancy running shoes are expensive, man. They're worth it though.
So I think with that, I think it's time to wrap it up. We're closing in on an hour or so.
Yeah, it's been an hour.
It's been an hour.
It's exactly at 9:01 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah, Ted's going to turn in a pumpkin before too long. I want to thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. It was awesome getting to hang out with you, meet you guys on the cruise. Hopefully we'll get to do it again next year. I don't know if we'll get another cabin to give away next year or not, but we
It
shall
doesn't
see.
matter. We'll actually spend our own money to go and hang out with you guys and cruise.
Awesome to hear. We like to hear that. So with that, until next time, guys, stay
Stay
nerdy.
nerdy.